YouTube isn't just a platform, it's a launchpad. It doesn't care where you came from, how much money you have, or whether you've ever held a camera before. If you're hungry, creative, and willing to go all in, it can change everything. One idea, one video, one moment of connection with the audience. This is how lives are transformed. Think about it. Billions of people scroll every day, looking for something to inspire them, entertain them, teach them, or make them laugh. And you can be the one to give it to them. When most people start on YouTube, they don't have a massive production team or a budget. They don't have fancy equipment or a viral strategy. They start with a cracked phone, a wobbly tripod made out of books, and an idea that won't leave their mind. They upload a video, hit publish, and hope anyone, will watch it, and maybe only a few do. Maybe it gets 10 views or 20, and it hurts, it's discouraging. You put your heart into something and it feels like nobody cares, but that's just the beginning. This is the part where most people give up. They think it's not worth it, that they're not cut out for it. But the ones who keep going, who use those 10 views as a reason to learn and improve instead of quit, those are the ones who break through. You look at the analytics, you notice what made people click away, you study what other creators are doing, and slowly, your content gets better. You adjust the lighting, you make your thumbnails pop, you cut out the boring parts. You start to understand your audience, even if that audience is only a handful of people right now. Every small improvement adds up. The video that once took you 10 hours to edit, it now takes 5. The titles that used to be random are now crafted with purpose. You start thinking about storytelling, about how to keep people watching, about what makes content stick. And you keep uploading, week after week, video after video. You build consistency, and YouTube starts to notice. The algorithm begins to test your videos with more people. You get a spike in views, 100, then 1,000, then maybe 10,000. That moment is electric. You realize you've made something that resonates, that people actually care about, and that feeling is addicting. But it's not just about numbers, it's about the connection. One comment from a stranger saying your video helped them. One message from someone who says you made their day. That's what keeps you going. You're not just making content, you're making a difference. YouTube becomes your outlet, your stage, your lab. You get to experiment, explore, and evolve in front of a global audience. Every upload teaches you something new, and every new skill you learn becomes a stepping stone to something bigger. People often think you need 1 million subscribers to change your life. That's a myth. Even a few thousand loyal viewers can open doors. You can start a business, launch a product, sell merch, or land brand deals with a small but engaged audience. You become more than just a creator. You become a brand, a voice, a trusted source. People follow you not just for your content, but for your perspective, your personality, your authenticity, and that trust is more valuable than gold. The truth is, YouTube teaches you more than how to make videos. It teaches you discipline. You learn to show up even when you're tired, to create even when you don't feel like it. You learn how to take criticism without folding, how to adapt when something flops, and how to stay focused when everything's pulling you in 100 directions. You learn how to research, how to market, how to edit, how to write. You become a one-person media company, and those skills, they're priceless. They don't just help you on YouTube, they prepare you for anything. And eventually, the money comes. Maybe it starts as a few dollars from ads, then your first sponsorship. Suddenly, something that was just a hobby is paying for your groceries, then your rent, then maybe your entire lifestyle. That moment when you realize you can pay your bills from YouTube, it's like waking up from a dream, because now you're free from the 9 to 5, free from answering to a boss, free to create your own path. You own your time, you decide your future, but none of that happens without the grind. Behind every overnight success is someone who spent years uploading videos that barely got noticed, someone who edited until 3 a.m., who filmed in their car because they didn't have a studio, who stayed up learning Premiere Pro or Final Cut while everyone else was watching shows. YouTube rewards the obsessed, the persistent, the ones who refuse to quit. And the crazy part, you don't need permission. You don't need a degree or a resume or someone to open the door for you. You just need an idea, a camera, and the will to hit upload. The internet has no gatekeepers. If you're good, people will find you. If you're consistent, people will trust you. If you're bold, people will follow you. That's the beauty of it. No middlemen, just you and the audience. Pure and direct. Every YouTuber has that moment when it clicks, when they go from making content for fun to realizing they're building something massive. It might be your first viral video, or your first time trending, or even your first fan recognizing you in public. It doesn't matter how it happens. What matters is what you do after. You double down, you refine your process, you set bigger goals, you start thinking long term, because now you're not just playing the game, you're mastering it. And then comes the responsibility. When you have an audience, your voice matters. You can spread positivity, raise awareness, support causes, and be a role model. That influence is powerful. It's a tool that can be used to lift others up, to bring hope, to educate, to challenge people to think differently. You're no longer just a creator, you're a leader, and that comes with the power to shape the culture. YouTube also opens up opportunities you never thought possible. You get invited to events, collaborate with other creators, maybe even land features in media or on television. Brands reach out, companies want to work with you, doors start flying open. But all of that starts with something as simple as uploading your first video. That one act starts a chain reaction you can't even imagine. You begin to build a team. Maybe at first it's just a friend helping with thumbnails or a sibling holding the camera. But as you grow, you start outsourcing editing, hiring managers, creating systems. Now you're running a company. You're not just a creator. You're a CEO. You think in strategies, you build pipelines, you invest in your growth. And now the scale of your vision starts to match the scale of your impact. And the content, it gets bolder, more ambitious. You go from talking in your room to building sets, traveling for content, telling bigger stories. You begin to think globally. How can I reach more people? How can I serve my audience better? You create series, formats, maybe even your own products. And your life becomes this constant loop of dreaming, building, sharing, and growing. Even the failures become fuel. A video tanks, good. Learn from it. A launch flops, great. Now you know what not to do. Every misstep is just data. Feedback, you don't take it personally. You take it seriously. And with every lesson, you get stronger. You build thick skin, sharp instincts, and relentless drive. Nothing can stop you except yourself. You start to see the bigger picture. YouTube isn't just a way to make money. It's a way to build a life on your terms. It's a platform where creativity meets opportunity, where anyone, anywhere, with the courage to try, can rise to the top. And you're not just doing it for views anymore. You're doing it to create something that lasts. Something meaningful, something that leaves a mark, and then one day you look back at the first video you posted, the awkward delivery, the bad lighting, the shaky audio, and you smile, because you know how far you've come. You remember the days when nobody watched, when you doubted yourself, when it felt like nothing would ever work. But you kept going, you trusted the process, you stayed hungry, and now your life is proof that it works. Now you're getting recognized on the street. Your DM are filled with people thanking you for inspiring them. Your videos are changing how people think, live, and dream, and all of that, it started with a decision to upload. One video, then another, and another. YouTube isn't just changing your life. It's creating a ripple effect. You're building something bigger than you. Something that could last forever, and this is where the real power kicks in. You now have freedom. You control your schedule. You decide what to create. You can travel, explore, give back, experiment. You can try wild ideas just because they excite you. You start to think about legacy. You're not just creating videos anymore. You're creating a life that means something. A life that others want to follow, not because it's perfect, but because it's real, it's raw, it's honest, and in a world full of filters and fakes, that honesty becomes rare and valuable. You start noticing how much influence you truly have. With one video, you can make someone laugh in another country. With one challenge, you can bring hope to a struggling family. With one story, you can inspire someone to chase their dream. The reach of YouTube is global, and once you tap into that, you realize you're not just a creator for your city or even your country. You're a creator for the world. And with that reach comes responsibility. You learn to be intentional with your message, thoughtful with your words, and strategic with your moves, because people are watching. Young people, old people, people who need encouragement. They look to you as a source of light, a spark of motivation, a break from the noise of life. And that's when it stops being just about you. It becomes about the people you're serving. You start asking questions like, how can I help more? How can I make a bigger difference? Maybe you build a community around your channel. Maybe you launch a cause that raises millions. Maybe you teach others how to do what you did. How to use the same platform to escape their own limits and discover what's possible. You become a multiplier. Your success helps others succeed. Then something unexpected happens. Opportunities come your way from outside the platform, a book deal, a documentary, a chance to speak at events or collaborate with companies that align with your values. YouTube becomes your resume, your body of work, and the world takes notice. People respect what you've built because they know it wasn't handed to you. You earned it with consistency, creativity, and heart. And the beautiful part is, it never ends. There's always another video to make, another idea to chase, another story to tell. But even as you grow, you remember the roots, the early days, the long nights. The comments from that one person who believed in you when nobody else did. And that memory keeps you grounded. It reminds you that no matter how big you get, you're still that person who picked up a camera and took a chance on yourself. That's the fire that never goes out. That's what keeps you hungry, keeps you improving, keeps you pushing. Eventually, you realize that YouTube has done more than change your bank account. It's changed how you think, how you handle failure, how you respond to criticism, how you manage your time, your focus, your emotions. You've grown in every way possible. You've learned how to deal with pressure, how to build something from nothing, how to take ownership of your life. And those lessons will carry you far beyond the screen. They'll help you in business, in relationships, in every part of your future. You see people all around you stuck in jobs they hate, living lives that don't excite them. But you're living proof that there's another way, that with courage and hard work, anyone can carve their own path. YouTube isn't just about entertainment, it's about empowerment. It gives a voice to the voiceless, a stage to the underdog, a shot to the person who's never been given one. And that spirit, that's what changes lives. And the best part, you're not alone. There's a whole community of creators out there, all going through the same journey. You start to connect with them. You share struggles, wins, advice, collaborations. You lift each other up. You become part of a global movement, a tribe of misfits and dreamers who refuse to settle. And together, you shape culture. You influence trends. You bring ideas to life that never would have existed without this platform. Sometimes you'll look around and realize how surreal it all is. The life you're living now used to be a fantasy. Traveling the world, working with brands you love, creating content that gets millions of views. It feels like a movie, but it's real. You made it real, and it started with the decision to be brave, to be different, to create instead of consume. You also start to recognize how much leverage you've built. You're not dependent on any one income stream. You have ads, sponsors, affiliate deals, merch, courses, maybe even your own digital products. That's financial freedom. That's peace of mind. You can take a break, pivot, explore new ventures, and you're still okay. Because your brand has value. Your audience believes in you. And when people believe in you, everything changes. At some point, the focus shifts again. It's no longer just about growing your channel. It's about growing your impact. You think about starting a foundation, building schools, funding creators in developing countries. You think about the next generation, the kids who are just now discovering YouTube, who are dreaming of making it like you did. And you want to show them the way. You want to let them know it's possible, that the life they want is on the other side of hard work and belief. You also realize that some of the most valuable parts of this journey aren't the views or the money, but the people you meet. Fans who become friends, the teammates who become family, the stories you get to be part of, the lives you touch. That's the real reward, the connections, the legacy, the ripple effects that will continue long after the cameras stop rolling. You begin to plan for the future differently, you invest smarter, you look for ways to turn your influence into ownership. Maybe you launch your own app, build your own platform, start your own company. You're not playing small anymore, you're thinking decades ahead, because you know YouTube is the start. But not the end, it's the door. What's behind it is up to you. And even if the platform changes, even if the algorithm shifts, even if trends fade, you know one thing for sure. Nobody can take away the skills you've built, the brand you've created, or the mindset you've developed. You're an unstoppable force now, because you've built something that doesn't rely on luck. It relies on you, and you've proven you've got what it takes. You see people hesitate all the time. They want to start, but they're scared of judgment, of failure, of looking dumb. But here's the truth. Everyone starts at zero. Everyone sucks in the beginning. That's part of the process. You don't need to be great to start, but you do need to start to be great. Every big YouTuber you admire was once a beginner, fumbling with their words, making cringy videos. The difference, they kept going. So if you're on the fence, ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? You post a video and nobody watches. Good. That's practice. That's freedom to experiment without pressure. And what's the best that can happen? Everything. Your whole life could change. You could meet the love of your life, find your purpose, change your family's story forever, all because you hit upload. YouTube isn't easy. It takes guts, grit, and patience, but it's worth it. Because it gives you a shot, and in today's world, a shot is all you need. If you're willing to work harder, think smarter, and never give up, there's no limit to what you can build. You can go from nothing to something, from struggling to thriving, from unknown to unforgettable, and that's the real magic of it. YouTube isn't about luck or fame, it's about transformation. Not just of your life, but of who you become in the process. The confidence you gain, the person you grow into, the resilience you develop. That's the true reward, and that reward never fades. So here's the truth. YouTube is more than a platform, it's a doorway. A doorway to freedom, to purpose, to impact. It doesn't matter where you start or what you lack. If you've got something to say, something to show, something to give, this is your moment. You don't need permission. You don't need perfection. All you need is the courage to begin. Because one video can open the floodgates. One idea can spark a movement. One decision can change your entire life. So stop waiting. Start building. Your future is on the other side of that camera. And it's time the world saw who you really are.